What up, YouTube? T-Moose here. With his new film Vanguard out now, and with his other new film with Arnold Schwarzenegger titled The Iron Mask, I think it's called. Since both films feature martial arts legend Jackie Chan, I decided to go ahead and do my top 10 favorite Jackie Chan movies. He's been in some really solid movies over, for a decade. You know, he ended up becoming the first ever martial arts to host SNL one time. He's been in some really solid films, from his native in China to American-based films. Jackie Chan is the man. So with that being said, here is my top 10 favorite Jackie Chan movies. All right. Coming in at number 10, I'm gonna go with the film The Foreigner. Now, The Foreigner's pretty decent film. You've got Jackie Chan who actually plays this businessman whose daughter ends up dying during a terror attack, and so Jackie Chan's, of course, his character is whose name is Juan, is very very heartbreaking about what happened to his daughter. So he decides to go on a rampage and find out the people responsible for killing his daughter. And it's, like I said, it's pretty much Jackie Chan's version of Taken. And you even got Pierce Brosnan, who portrays this British government who could easily have ties with what happened. The film was, of course, directed by Mark Hamill, who gave us Casino Royale. I remember watching The Foreigner back in 2017. I thought it was one of the better performances that Jackie Chan has ever given. I mean, his performance was so good, I even thought it was an Oscar-worthy performance. You know, I mean, when you think of Jackie Chan, you don't really think of Oscar-worthy performances. But his performance was probably one of the best performances I've seen out of him. And the film had great action, really, great, performances by Chen, by Pierce Brosnan. The cat and mouse game between the two was pretty cool. If you guys never really seen The Foreigner, definitely give that one shot. I think you'll enjoy it. Number 9, I'm gonna go with the remake of The Karate Kid. The Karate Kid remake is obviously it's not as good as the original 1984 version, but it's still pretty solid. It's much better than I had any business being. I remember when they first announced the remake of The Karate Kid. I'm like, okay, come on, there's no way you could top Miss Miyagi or Danny LaRusso or anything. That can't be done. But now, granted, they're not playing the same characters from the original Karate Kid. Like, you got Jaden Smith, who of course portrays a character named Drake Parker, while Jackie Chan plays, pretty much plays his coach, if you will, Mr. Han, who's a little similar to Mr. Miyagi. I mean, Jackie Chan, obviously his character was no Mr. Miyagi, but he really had lots of, he pretty much paid tribute to Mr. Miyagi, because there's a pretty cool wax off similar scene. I mean, the Karate Kid remake is much better than I ever thought it would have been. I mean, I really did not expect much out of the Karate Kid remake, but it was actually really solid. If you guys have not really seen the remake of it, give it a shot. Like I said, it's not as good as the original Karate Kid, but still pretty decent. And Jaden Smith and Jackie Chan's chemistry together was pretty cool to watch. I mean, I was still wondering whatever happened to the sequel. I remember they were supposed to do a sequel to this Karate Kid remake.
2015, all safe and secure.
But never really went to fruition. But anyway. Alright, coming in at number 8, I'm going to go with Shanghai Noon. Now, Shanghai Noon stars Jackie Chan as this bumbling character named Chan Wang, who works as an Imperial Guard in the Forbidden City of China. And this is actually a Western-based comedy film. And you got this princess named Pai Pai, portrayed by Lucy Liu, who ends up being taken hostage. And Wang ends up pursuing her, captures to the wild frontier land of Nevada, where he also meets. He ends up meeting this cowboy named Roy O'Brien, Bannon, portrayed by Owen Wilson. And they end up pretty much teaming up to save Pie. I mean, Shanghai Noon. The first Shanghai film is pretty good. Shanghai Noon is pretty decent. Shanghai Night, which got released back in 2003, that wasn't so good. But Owen Wilson and Jackie Chan's chemistry together was pretty solid to watch. The action was pretty cool. The humor was pretty solid. It was directed by Tom Day, who also did the movie Marmaduke, and he's done some other stuff as well. Yeah, Shanghai Noon is a really good one. If you guys have not really seen it, give it a shot. Shanghai Night, you don't really need to bar. Although there has been talk about a third one coming. I don't know if that's still in the pipeline or not, but I'm down to see another one. Number 7, I'm gonna go with the film Project A. Now, Project A was pretty decent. Here you got Jackie Chan, who plays a character named Dragon Ma, who is this lieutenant in the 19th century Hong Kong Marines. And so you got pirates who have been terrorizing, these local warriors with assistance from the corrupt authorities. And so Dragon Ma is hoping to defeat the evil pirate clan that is led by Sempio, played by Dick Wah. But his plan ends up is very short circuit, where Ma then ends up teaming up with a Navy admirer named portrayed by Swan Lau, who's also this police, and you also got a police captain named Tazu, portrayed by Biao Yan, and this crafty deep, portrayed by Samo Hong Kim Bo. And it's a really decent, fun, entertaining action flick. The stunts in this thing, Jackie Chan does, he actually does his own stunts, by the way. And the stunts he pulls in this one was pretty solid to watch. Really, sweet, pretty cool action here. And not to mention, Jackie Chan also directed the film, so there's that too. And the film got released all the way back in 1983. And I can say it's one of the movies that really put Jackie Chan on the map for most people. It's really fun, cool, cool fight sequences. Yeah, if you guys have not really seen Project A, definitely give that one a shot. Number 6, I'm gonna go with the film Police Story. Now, this stars Jackie Chan as Kevin Chan, who is this Hong Kong cop who scores his first big hit by virtually single-handedly capturing and arresting a big-time drug lord. And the drug lord isn't really happy about it, so he ends up framing Jackie Chan's character, who's of course named Kevin, with the murder of another cop. And so Kevin has to try to clear his name and keep his girlfriend from leaving him. I mean, Police Story got released all the way back in all the way back in 1985, and Jackie Chan also directed this film as well. I believe Jackie Chan also directed this, if I'm not mistaken. He's directed some interesting side stuff over the years. Police Story also had some real, also had cool action scenes. I mean, I guess you say it had a bit of a Lethal Weapon feel to it. There has been some pretty cool police-based movies that China has gave, and Police Story is a really decent one. If you guys have not really seen Police Story, Jackie Chan, I can say it's part comedy, part action, pretty decent film. So if you guys have not seen it, give it a shot. All right. Coming in at number 5, I'm going to go with First Strike. Now, this is about a Hong Kong police detective named Chan Kai-ko, portrayed by Jackie Chan, who ends up working for the CIA to track down a mysterious woman named Natasha, portrayed by this actress named Grishavia Nona. I'm not really good at pronouncing the name, Shirazia. But she ends up being, suspected of delivering money to this terrorist named Jackson Tsai, portrayed by Jackson Lau, and who is also trying to obtain a nuclear warhead from the Russian mob. And so while traveling from Hong Kong to the Ukraine to Australia, he must he ends up aiming to bust up the terrorist plot using his fists as much to do. I mean, this First Strike also has some pretty solid action sequences in it. Yeah, it was actually called it's technically titled Jackie Chan First Strike and all. And yeah, it's pretty like yeah, it's a pretty good one. Jackie Chan, plays the character pretty solid. He's really he's really fun as this role. I mean, the movie got released all the way back in the '90s, and it's a pretty cool Jackie Chan action movie worth checking out. Alright, coming in at number 4, I'm going to go with the film Who Am I? Now, it's about these group of covert CIA operatives who are trailing a potential new energy source that are double crossed, and they end up being double crossed by this agent named Morgan, portrayed by Ron Smerzak, who causes a helicopter to crash in a remote South Africa. And so you got the sole survivor, portrayed by Jackie Chan, who is suffering from severe amnesia, is nursed to recovery by a kindly naive tribe who calls him the Huami. And this also had some pretty cool action sequences as well. Jackie Chan once again was pretty decent. The film got released all the way back in 1997. And boy, Jackie Chan has some pretty good stuff in the '90s, Anyway, it's a really solid, cool action sequences. Jackie Chan, at the top of his game, was pretty solid here. Some of the stunts was pretty sweet. You even got Michelle Pfeiffer, who portrays this mysterious reporter, and so the character of Muhammad ends up trying to also put the pieces together in his past and tracks down the turncoat agent and his criminal cohort. So he is trying to find out who he really is, because that's why it's titled Who Am I, But anyway, number 3, I'm gonna go with Drunken Master. Now, this movie actually really was a film that put Jackie Chan on the map, and I mean, back in the 70s, with the tragic passing of Bruce Lee, Hollywood was, of course, trying to find out who could easily become the next martial arts star that could top Bruce Lee. And Jackie Chan actually had worked with Bruce Lee before. But anyway, now, and Drunken Master is definitely a really solid Jackie Chan flick. Here you got this. This is actually, I believe this was his breakout role, if I'm not mistaken. You got Jackie Chan, who plays a character named Wong Fai-hyung, who is accepting the taluyage of Soha Chai, portrayed by Seo Tan Yan, who is this notoriously intoxicated martial arts master. And so Suha Chai, ends up teaching Wong the techniques of drunken boxing. So it's pretty much like Bad Santa, but with being a martial arts. I mean, yeah, that's why it's called Drunken Master, Anyway, Drunken Master, had some really solid action sequences. I believe some of the trainers also trained Bruce Lee, if I'm not mistaken. Some of the stunt doubles in those. And the film, of course, got released all the way back in 1978. And it's a film that, probably still holds up today. It's a really fun, entertaining one. Pure 70s martial arts. They don't really make kung fu martial art movies as they used to. I do miss the days of Bruce Lee, and Jackie Chan still does stuff, but, there's not really much, martial art movies as there was back in the days, But, yeah, Drunken Master is a really decent one. Yeah. If you guys have not really seen it, really decent. Alright, coming in at number 2, I'm going to go with the film Rumble in the Bronx. Now, you got Jackie Chan plays this Hong Kong policeman named Keong, who ends up arriving in New York City for a wedding of his Uncle Bill, played by Bill Tung, who is this grocer who recently sold his Bronx store to the fetching Elaine, portrayed by Anita Mia. And so, after a gang of bike ends up bursting into the store to wreak havoc, he ends up springing into action and giving up his vacation to defend the weak and protect the innocents here. It's pretty much an action-based comedy, and Jackie Chan was pretty decent. Probably one of his most famous roles is in Rumble in the Bronx. You know, who just does not love a good film that takes place in New York City? I mean, you don't really see much martial art movies that takes place here in New York. And Rumble in the Bronx, of course, got released all the way back in 1995. And it's an action movie, I believe, that still holds up today. It's a solid one. It's fun, entertaining. Jackie Chan, you know, the stunts he does, it's insane how he does his own stunts. I'm like, man, cue to Jackie Chan doing his own stunts, you know? And yeah, Jackie Chan is really solid in this one. If you guys have not really seen Rumble in the Bronx, definitely one of his top-notch best ones. Now, what is my favorite Jackie Chan film? My number one favorite Jackie Chan movie obviously goes to 1998's action-based comedy, Rush Hour. I mean, of course, Jackie Chan has some, you know, classic iconics like Rumble in the Bronx, Drunken Master, Police Story. To me, the film that really put him on the map, in my book, has got to be Rush Hour. I love the Rush Hour movies. You know, his like him portraying the role of Detective Lee, you know, teaming up with this wisecracking detective named James Carter, portrayed by Chris Tucker. It's so fun. I mean, you got Brett Ratner, who directed Audrey films. There has been talks about a fourth one, but still hasn't. I mean, Part 3 has got, you know, Rush Hour 3 came out in 2007. So, I don't know if there's any, like, clamor for a fourth Rush Hour, but hey, Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker, both, their chemistry together is solid to watch. I mean, Chris Tucker's iconic line of, "Can you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?" Okay, I cannot do a good Chris Tucker impersonation. That's the last time I'm ever gonna do that. Yeah, I mean, the buddy cop chemistry duo between those two is just so iconic. You can really buy them as buddy cops, you know. At first, of course, they don't really care for much each other, but then they learn to, you know, really appreciate one another. I mean, there's been some great buddy cop movies, whether you talk about Bad Boys, whether you're talking about Lethal Weapon, but Rush Hour is definitely up there as one of the best buddy cop comedies, you know. And yeah, if you guys haven't really seen none of the Rush Hour movies, they are really fun to watch, you know. So definitely go watch the Rush Hour films. You gotta get to them soon. And fingers crossed we get a fourth one, because I'll be down to see these two, you know, reteam once again. All right, that's pretty much it. Let me do the quick rundown. 10 The Foreigner, 9 The Karate Kid, 8 Shanghai Noon, 7 Project A, 6 Police Story, 5 First Strike, 4 Who Am I, 3 Drunken Master, 2 Rumble in the Bronx, and number 1 Rush Hour. Now there's also some other stuff that Jackie Chan has done in the past as well. Let me pull up his credit list. Oh yeah, he was in the Cannonball Run. I just keep forgetting he was in that. That was more a cameo, but yeah, still. Let's see. He was also in the sequel, Cannonball Run 2. There was a sequel to Project A that he did. There has been sequels to the Police Story. Oh, he was in Mulan? Not the remake, the anime one. Wow, I never really knew he was in the anime Mulan. That's cool right there. Let's see. Crime Story he was in. He was in the Kung Fu Panda films. Not movies, but he actually started on a TV show, an anime show, which was Jackie Chan Adventures. Who remembers that? Come on. Let's see. He was in The Tuxedo with Jennifer Love Hewitt. Not that good of a film. Let's see. He was in Mr. Nice Guy. That was pretty good. The Mandalorian, that wasn't so good. He was in that not so good remake of Around the World in 8 Days. Let's see. He was in The Forbidden Kingdom, which paired him up with Jet Li, which was most. I really quite like Forbidden Kingdom. That movie did not really get talked about a whole lot, but Forbidden Kingdom was pretty solid. I mean, you had two of the most iconic martial arts legends in there with Jackie Chan and Jet Li. So, and one more key acts were there. He was also in The Spy Next Door with George Lopez. That wasn't so good. He was in Shaolin, Dragon Blade, which wasn't so good. He was also in the Lego Ninjago movie. He was in Kung Fu Yoga, Skip Trace with Johnny Knoxville, Nutty Professor 2, Bleeding Steel, The Climbers. He's been some decent stuff and some not so good stuff. He's also in a movie called Project Extraction with John Cena. I don't know when that's ever going to come out, but anyway, let me leave you guys. What are some of your favorite Jackie Chan movies? Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications. This is Simu signing off.